I want to spend a few minutes to talk about perspectives in Kumu. And I've labeled this perspectives 1 because I expect that it's going to take me several um, videos to talk about all the various and sundry aspects of perspectives because it's such a rich capability within Kumu. I had said before that in Kumu you have an account, and within an account you can have a number of projects, and for each project you can have a number of maps. A project is essentially the mapping of some set of data, and for that set of data within the project you can have multiple maps, and each map displays some cross-section of the entities that you have developed. And for each of those, or within that project, you can have multiple perspectives, and a perspective is simply a way that you've defined to look at that data that's part of the project and on a particular map. In this map that I've been creating for the videos that I'm doing about various aspects of Kumu, I've decided to identify the content as either basic, intermediate, or advanced, and type the individual elements that way, so that I did that for a number of them already, so that your first map I considered basic, and getting started I considered basic. Finding help is also basic, so I've selected it, and I go up here and select this and click on basic. If you have the first time that you want to use a type, you just enter that new value and click done, and it will define that type, and it will then be available on the selection list. So widgets are probably intermediate, so I'll select those as intermediate. And then what I did was I went to perspective, and I said that save changes, save decorations, and tell it that I wanted to decorate elements, and then you can tell it that you want to decorate all the elements or some cross section. And I said that I wanted to do the element type is, and I said basic, and then I decided on the size that I wanted for it to be 20, and the color I wanted to be green. And you can also tell it whether or not you want an image or bullseye or shadow, and then type in a label that appears as part of the legend. So that's what I went through to define the values, or the decoration for basic, intermediate, and advanced, and they then show up down here as the legend, and here is the definition. But you can edit any one of these individually simply by clicking, and it will tell you how it's currently defined, and you can alter the definition. And there are ways to tell it that you want to scale the size based upon the value of some attribute, if there are attributes defined, or you can alter the color based upon some attributes between different values. So it's a very rich capability in terms of the way that you can decorate the map, so that it gives a visual perspective on things, so that you can tell just by looking at it that these are the basic items, this is intermediate, and this is advanced. And as I work on it, I will continue to type the rest of them. Though, as I indicated previously in the video on types and tags, there are things that you can do with the types and tags once you've defined them, so that there's a filter capability, and I could tell it that I only want to see the basic elements on the map. So now the only thing I see are those elements which are typed as basic, or I could go ahead and say I only want to see the intermediate and advanced. So that's what I would see on the map. You can also build that selection into a perspective so that based upon looking at this map with this perspective, you see some of the data, but if you apply a different perspective to it, you see a different set of data displayed in a different way. It depends upon what it is that you're trying to convey to the audience that you're developing this map for. And the decoration, in other words, you can decorate the elements or the connections, or you can decorate the elements or the connections. What it is actually is simply a bunch of CSS code that describes how it's supposed to treat what's displayed on the map. And once you become familiar with the various dimensions of decorations, you can come in and simply edit the CSS code directly. Oftentimes, it's much easier to come in and edit the definition of something than it is to go back and edit it with the built-in help that walks you through the various and sundry pieces. So that's an initial view of what you end up doing with decorations. I'll do another video and talk about decorating connectors for doing causal loops. So hope this has been informative, and I'll see you in another video shortly. Bye.